Welcome back. I have to be honest with you. I almost didn't make it to the recording booth today.
Oh, yeah.
Not because of traffic, not because I was sick,
Right.
but because my brain, it felt like a browser with about 150 tabs open, and half of them were frozen. You know that feeling.
The spinning wheel of death,
Yeah.
but inside your skull.
It is exactly that. I woke up with this very clear intention. Today, I'm going to be productive. I am going to be calm.
The captain of my ship.
The captain of my ship.
Right.
And by like 8:30, I was just drowning. I was reacting to emails. I was worrying about a conversation I need to have next week.
Right.
I was thinking about whether I left the stove on. The captain was gone. I was just bailing water.
Wow.
And it hit me. We all know what we want. We want the better job, the calmer home, the health kick that actually sticks for once.
Sure.
But we seem completely incapable of holding that thought long enough to actually make it happen.
Yeah.
Why is that gap between I want this and I'm doing this?
Yeah.
Why is it so incredibly wide?
Well, it's that classic gap, isn't it, between intention and, reality.
Yeah.
And frankly, that gap is where 99% of people live their entire lives. They just live right there.
And it's so noisy in there.
Yeah.
It's what I call mental static. I feel like I'm trying to tune in a clear radio station.
Mm-hmm.
That vision of my best self, but all I get is just static, white noise, interference.
That is a perfect analogy. And the reason that happens, according to the work we're unpacking today, is actually quite simple.
Simple. It feels impossible.
Simple, but not easy to fix. The reason is that most people never actually build a picture. They have a fleeting daydream.
And that's different.
Oh, completely different. A daydream is like smoke. It gets washed away by the first wave of anxiety or, the next email that pops up. A blueprint has structural integrity. It stands firm.
So that is our mission today.
Yeah.
We are going to learn how to stop daydreaming and start architectural planning for the mind.
I like that.
We're taking a really close look at Genevieve Barron's classic book, Your Invisible Power, specifically the chapter on how to build the mental picture.
Right.
And I know you're thinking, 1921, isn't that a bit dated? But we're not just staying in the past. We're dragging Barron into the 21st century.
We're bringing in modern research on implementation intentions, some fascinating motor imagery studies.
And even some heavy-hitting Stoic philosophy from Epictetus to see why this stuff actually works.
We are going to turn abstract desire into a concrete mental structure. This isn't magic, it's cognitive architecture.
If this episode helps you, please hit like and subscribe for the next one.
So before we get to the how-tos, we really need to deal with the what. What exactly are we working with here?
Okay.
Barron starts with a concept that might make a modern scientist raise an eyebrow, at least initially. She talks about the plastic substance of the mind.
Yeah, I stopped reading for a second when I saw that. Plastic substance. It sounds like something out of a bad sci-fi movie. What is she actually talking about?
Well, you have to remember the context. In 1921, they were trying to find a language for how the invisible becomes visible. But if we look at the word plastic in its original sense, from the Greek plastikos.
Does it mean a water bottle?
Doesn't mean Tupperware, no.
Right.
It means capable of being shaped or molded. Clay is plastic. Wax is plastic.
So she isn't saying the mind is fake. She's saying the mind is pliable.
Precisely. And this is where she was remarkably ahead of her time. I mean, in the early 20th century, the prevailing idea was that the adult brain was fixed.
Right. Hardwired.
Completely. You were born with a certain number of neurons, they wired up, and that was it. You were a hard drive that couldn't be rewritten. Barron was arguing intuitively for what we now call neuroplasticity.
Neuroplasticity being the brain's ability to rewire itself based on experience.
Yes. Think about that famous study of the London taxi drivers.
Oh, I love this one.
It's the gold standard. To become a licensed black cab driver in London, you have to pass this insane test called the knowledge.
Like memorizing an entire city.
It is. 25,000 streets. Thousands of landmarks. It takes years.
I just use my phone. I can't imagine memorizing 25,000 streets.
And that is exactly why your hippocampus looks different from theirs. Researchers studied these drivers and found that the part of the brain responsible for spatial navigation was physically larger in the taxi drivers.
So their brain literally changed.
The substance of their brain had physically changed to accommodate the mental picture of the map they built every single day.
So when Barron talks about the plastic substance, she's saying the mind is sensitive to our thoughts. It's not a block of stone, it's more like clay, waiting for a mold.
The brain is always listening to the mind. That's the core takeaway. It's waiting for instructions.
And most of us are just giving it static.
We're giving it garbage instructions or conflicting instructions, so the plastic substance gets molded into this chaotic mess.
And mental picture, that's the mold.
It's mold. And to explain how this mold works, she uses this beautiful, really vintage analogy of the magic lantern.
I had to look this up. It's like the great-grandfather of a slide projector.
It was the virtual reality of the Victorian age, basically. You have a box, a light source inside, like a kerosene lamp.
Old school.
Very old school. And in front of the light, there's a slot where you slide in a glass plate with an image painted on it. A lens focuses the light, and boom, you project a giant image on the wall.
Okay, so let's break that down. In this metaphor, what is the slide?
The slide is the mental picture. That's the specific image you want to create. The house, the job, the relationship.
As if the static image of your desire.
Exactly. And the light.
The will. The attention.
The light is the steady will, the attention. And this is where the metaphor gets really powerful. You can have the most beautiful, high-definition slide in the world, the perfect goal. But if the light inside the box, your attention is flickering.
You get nothing. Or just a faint shadow on the wall.
Correct. And conversely, you can have a blindingly bright light, a super strong will, but if you keep swapping out the slide every 10 seconds...
I do this.
What happens?
You just get a blur, a mess, a headache.
That is the state of the modern mind. We have high energy, high anxiety, a bright light. But we are swapping slides constantly. 1 minute, I want to be a marathon runner. The next, a sourdough baker. The next, a crypto trader.
The subconscious is getting whiplash.
It's getting a strobe light of different images and never has time to set.
That is me. I am the blurred wall. I have plenty of will. I can work hard, but I lack the one consistent slide.
And that's exactly what we're here to fix. Barron says we need to build this picture deliberately. It isn't something that just floats into your head. You have to be the architect.
You have to paint the slide, put it in the slot, and then turn the light on and leave it there.
Yes.
But wait, I have to play skeptic for a second. This all sounds very nice. Be the architect. But how is this different from just, daydreaming?
A crucial distinction.
I can sit here and deliberately imagine myself on a yacht. I can picture the sunset. But that doesn't mean I'm building anything. That's just escapism, right?
It is. And the difference is structure, stability, and intent. A daydream is passive. You're watching a movie to escape your current reality. Building a picture is active.
She calls it the architecture of being.
Exactly. You're creating a powerhouse to generate a specific result. A daydream dissipates when you stand up. A mental picture is designed to be carried with you. And to do that, your picture needs to meet 4 specific criteria.
The 4 pillars.
The 4 pillars of a strong picture.
Okay, lay them on me. Because my yacht visualization definitely feels like a daydream. How do I turn it into architecture?
Pillar 1 is it must be simple.
Simple. That sounds easy, but it's actually really hard.
Yeah.
We want everything at once. My dream life has like 50 components.
We all do that. But complexity causes the mind to scatter. Barron is very clear on this. The simplest pattern is the clearest.
Back to the magic lantern.
Back to the magic lantern. If you take a small glass slide and you try to draw 1,000 tiny intricate lines on it...
The details get lost. It's just a smudge.
Exactly. The light can't push through all that clutter. It projects a messy, indistinct image. But if you have one clear, bold shape, a star, a house, a single word, it projects perfectly. It cuts through the darkness.
So this is like that famous jam study, right? The paradox of choice.
The Sheena Iyengar study, yes. When shoppers saw 24 jams, they were paralyzed.
Too many options.
But when they saw 6, they bought. The brain shuts down when it's overwhelmed. If you try to visualize a 10-year plan with a career change, a new house, a fitness regime...
Your subconscious just freezes. It does nothing.
It does nothing. So instead of the whole plan, focus on the single most important element. If it's the new job, just focus on the office. Don't worry about the commute or the retirement party, just the office.
Okay. Simple. Pillar 2.
Pillar 2 is, it must be a finished scene. This is where most people get it wrong. And this is where the science gets really fascinating.
So you mean visualizing the process? Like visualizing myself studying versus just seeing the good grade?
Right. Do not visualize the studying. Do not visualize the construction crew pouring the concrete for the house.
You visualize the finished house.
You visualize yourself inside the finished house. Barron is so specific here. She says if you want a house, see yourself inside it. Look in the mirror in the hallway. See yourself happy.
Why does the finished part matter so much to the brain? Why can't I visualize the hard work? Wouldn't that motivate me?
It connects to research on what's called functional equivalence. This is where we need to talk about Ronald Fink and his experiments in the 70s.
Okay, take us to the lab. What did Fink do?
So, imagine a dark room. Fink asks people to look at an object. Then he takes it away and asks them to mentally rotate that object in their mind.
Uh-huh.
And he timed them. He measured exactly how long it took for them to say, okay, I've rotated it.
And what did he find?
He found a linear relationship. It took the brain the exact same amount of time to mentally rotate the object.
That would take to physically do it.
Exactly, the same amount of time.
That's wild, right? That is wild. So the
Yeah.
brain isn't just thinking about it, it's simulating the movement.
Precisely. It proved that the mind's eye uses the exact same neural machinery as the physical eye. The brain doesn't really distinguish between a high-fidelity visualization and physical reality.
So if you visualize the struggle, the sweating, the stress, you're just practicing struggle.
You're encoding struggle. Your brain thinks, oh, okay, this is what we do, we struggle. But if you visualize the destination, the brain plots a course to that coordinate.
Okay, so simple and finished. What's pillar 3?
Pillar 3. It must have a calm feeling.
Calm. See, that's counterintuitive. When I think about goal crushing, I think of high energy, pumping music.
Yeah.
I'm going to do this.
That's the modern hustle culture talking. But Barron warns strictly against strenuous endeavor. She says if you're forcing it, you're failing.
But isn't desire energetic?
Desire is, but holding the picture has to be calm. Think about it.
Right.
When are you the most frantic?
When I'm afraid I won't get what I want.
Exactly. High intensity often carries a hidden signal of lack. If I'm straining for it, gripping the steering wheel until my knuckles are white, it means I don't believe I have it. It implies distance.
This sounds really stoic.
It is pure stoicism. Epictetus talked about prosocha, which is attention, but he meant a calm, continuous vigilance, not a worried, frantic attention.
The difference between a panicked swimmer thrashing in the water and a master swimmer effortlessly gliding.
Perfect. The calm feeling signals to the brain, this is normal, this is mine. It bypasses the fear response.
Okay, pillar 4.
Pillar 4 is it must be repeatable.
Consistency.
Yes. This isn't a one-time thing. You don't build a house by laying one brick and walking away. Barron says you have to view this picture morning and night.
This is what modern psychology calls habituation.
It is. You're wearing a groove into that plastic substance of the mind.
Like walking through a field of tall grass. The first time, it springs back up. But if you walk the same path every morning and every night,
eventually you have a trail. It's Hebbian learning. Neurons that fire together wire together. But they need to fire repeatedly to create that stable circuit.
okay, simple, finished, calm, repeatable. Those are our 4 pillars. Now, before we get to the build method, we need to talk about the demolition crew. Because I feel like I build a picture, and then 5 minutes later, I've taken a sledgehammer to it. What weakens the picture?
It's so much easier to destroy than to build. Barron and our supporting research point to a few specific things. The first one we already touched on. Too many details.
Right. Cognitive overload.
It just freezes you up. Another huge one is switching scenes.
Yeah.
Changing the slide and the lantern.
The mountain house today, the beach condo tomorrow.
And your subconscious just gets a blur. It doesn't know what to build.
What about emotions? We said be calm, but can you, force yourself to feel happy?
That's a huge trap. Forcing emotion creates tension. If you're sitting there gritting your teeth saying, I'm so happy, your body knows you're lying.
It creates resistance.
A total split? The feeling has to be natural. Like quiet satisfaction, not a manic high.
Here's one that I think hits home for a lot of people. Visualizing problems.
Oh, this is huge. We often think we're planning, but we're actually just worrying.
Yes, I'm thinking about the goal, but what I'm really doing is playing out all the worst-case scenarios. What if the financing falls through? What if my boss hates it?
Right. There's a great, slightly gross analogy in the sources about a refrigerator.
Okay.
Imagine your fridge stops working, the food's spoiling, it smells.
Right.
You call the repairman. He pulls it out and finds the problem. A mouse got caught in the fan.
Oh, lovely. Thanks for that.
It's vivid, right. So the repairman fixes the fan. The fridge works. Cold air, the problem is solved. But if you keep obsessing over the broken fan,
You're mentally living in the breakage.
you're staring at the spot where the mouse was. You need to visualize the cold milk. You need to visualize the fresh vegetables. The result, not the fix.
That's a subtle but massive shift. Don't focus on how to get out of debt. Focus on the feeling of the bill being paid.
Precisely. The mind moves toward what it sees. Stare at the obstacle, you'll hit the obstacle.
And then there's the big one, the one you call the leak. contradiction.
This is the most dangerous one because it's sneaky. It's contradicting the picture with your speech and habits.
Give me an example of how this destroys the work.
Okay, so there's this terrifying anecdote in the source material about an aircraft failure. It wasn't the engine that failed. It wasn't the pilot. It was a small fuel clamp.
A tiny part.
A tiny, generic, mass-produced clamp. Maybe cost $1 and some change. But it wasn't tightened properly. It failed. Fuel leaked out. And the entire massive enterprise of that flight, the engineering, the lives, everything, it all went down.
Wow. So
Yeah.
in our minds, what is the fuel clamp?
It's the small negative comment you make at lunch. You spend 20 minutes in the morning visualizing success, building this incredible picture. You feel great. Then at lunch, you tell a coworker, man, this company's going down the drain. I'll never get that promotion.
Oof. Yeah. I'm trying to be positive, but realistically.
That one sentence is the broken clamp. It drains all the power from the picture. You have to align your speech with your blueprint. As wisdom literature says, guard your heart, or in this case, guard your tongue.
You can't build with one hand and tear down with the other.
You're just running in place.
That is a huge reality check.
Okay.
Okay, let's turn this into a toolkit. We've got the theory, the neuroscience, the philosophy. Now I want the manual. Let's build a picture right now, step by step.
Let's do it. This is the build method, simplified.
Step 1. Choose one desire.
And the rule here is it must be expressible in one simple sentence.
Just one. Why so strict?
Constraints breed focus. If you can't say it in one sentence, you haven't defined it clearly enough. I want to be happy is too vague. I want to lead my team with confidence is a sentence. It focuses the attention.
Okay. Step 2. Pick one completed scene.
Remember the Finca study. Not I'm getting there, but I am there.
Go through the house. Look in the mirror.
See the reflection. It implies arrival.
Step 3. Add one feeling word.
This anchors the image. What's the dominant emotion of the finished scene? It's usually something like relief, security, gratitude, or calm.
Secure. I like that. It feels grounded. Okay, step 4. Add one phrase you will speak.
This is where we combat the contradiction. We can use a modern technique here called implementation intentions.
An if-then plan.
An if-then plan. If I start worrying about the meeting, then I will say, I am prepared and capable. You script your reaction before the stress hits.
Step 5.
Yeah.
Add one action you will do.
Barron calls these proof actions. You do something physically that proves you believe the picture is real. It closes that loop between mental and physical.
And finally, step 6. Remove one contradiction.
The diet of the mind. Identify the one thing you say or do that argues against your picture and just cut it out.
Okay, this is very actionable. Let's make it real with some examples. I've got 3 scenarios: work, relationships, and habits.
Let's run them through. Let's take work first. Say the desire is confidence during a big presentation.
Okay, so desire. I deliver the proposal with total clarity.
Good. Now the scene. Don't visualize the slides. Don't visualize stumbling. Visualize the moment after it's done. You're walking out of the room, shaking hands. You hear someone say, "Great job."
And I need sensory details.
Feel the cool temperature of the conference table. Hear the heavy wood door click shut behind you. Research shows that engaging multiple senses makes the brain believe it's real.
And the proof action for that.
Organize your notes calmly the night before, not frantically. A panicked person throws papers in a bag. A confident person stacks them neatly.
That's good. Okay, example B, relationships. Let's say it's just wanting peace in the home.
Desire. Peace in the home. The scene. You're sitting at dinner, laughing. It feels light. You see the steam rising off the food.
The feeling word?
Understood. That's a powerful one.
Now, the tricky part. The contradiction removal.
This is where it all fails. You visualize peace, but then you call your friend and complain about your partner for 20 minutes. He always does this.
That's cognitive dissonance.
Completely. You're speaking a negative reality while trying to build a positive one. You have to stop the complaining if you want the picture to hold.
Okay, tough, but fair.
Yeah.
Last one. Example C, habits. Let's say running or just better health.
Desire. Physical vitality. The scene. Barron's mirror suggestion. Look in the mirror and see a healthy reflection. See your skin glowing.
Sensory detail.
The smell of fresh air. The rhythm of your heartbeat. This connects to embodied cognition, feeling it in your body before it happens.
And the phrase, I am strong and steady, simple, effective.
Okay, I think we are ready. I want to slow things down for a minute and do a guided exercise. A picture building workshop.
Let's do it.
I want you, the listener, to actually pause for a second, mentally, not the audio, and do this with us. Don't just listen. Apply it. Let's build a picture right now.
Okay. First step, choose one desire. Put it in one sentence. Keep it short. Do you have it?
I've got mine. Next, build one simple, finished scene. Where are you? Who's there? And remember, be inside the scene. Look through your own eyes. Now, add one sensory detail. Touch something in that mental picture. Is it the leather of a steering wheel, the warmth of a hand? Make it real. Feel it.
Yeah.
Okay. Next, choose one feeling word that matches. Is it joy, relief, freedom? Let that feeling wash over you. Next, choose one phrase you will speak today that aligns with this. What will you say to yourself when the doubt creeps in? Next, choose one proof action. What small thing would the successful you do right now? Would they drink a glass of water? Send that email. And finally, remove one contradiction. Pick one negative thought or word you usually use and decide right now to replace it with a supportive one.
I hope you actually did that. It feels different when you break it down like that, doesn't it? It stops being a wish and it starts feeling like a plan.
That is the shift from daydreaming to architecture. You have just poured the foundation.
But even with a plan, things go wrong. We're human. Let's talk about the common mistakes. The why isn't this working moments.
There are 5 big ones. Mistake 1 is the magic lantern without light. This is Barron's main warning. You have the perfect picture, but you have no steady will. You don't turn the light on.
You mean you don't give it any attention?
You do it once and forget about it. You need to turn the light on through daily focus. Attention is the energy source.
Okay, mistake 2.
The blurred slide. This is changing the goal every day. Today it's fitness, tomorrow it's finance. The mind can't build a mold if the shape keeps changing.
Mistake 3. This is my favorite one because I'm so guilty of it.
The strenuous endeavor. Trying too hard. We think if we aren't suffering, we aren't working. But Barron says the trunk of the tree provides for the branches. You don't see a tree straining to grow leaves.
It just allows the sap to flow.
You need to relax into the picture. If your visualization is exhausting you, you're doing it wrong. It should feel like rest, not work.
Mistake 4. Visualizing the problem.
The refrigerator and the mouse. Again, don't visualize the debt. Visualize the paid bill. Don't visualize the sickness. Visualize the health.
And mistake 5. The leak.
The contradiction. That $1 clamp. You cannot build up and tear down at the same time. You can't pray for prosperity and then gossip about how broke you are. Align your speech.
This has been illuminating. Pun intended.
Yeah.
It really changes the way I think about positive thinking. It's not about just being happy. It's about being disciplined.
It's about architecture.
Let's recap what we've covered.
Let's boil it down.
First, the mental picture is a deliberate blueprint, not a daydream.
Keep the scene simple, finished, and calm.
See yourself inside the picture, not watching it from a distance.
Use sensory details to trick the brain into believing it's real.
Support the picture with proof actions in the physical world.
And guard your speech against contradictions.
And finally, repeat the process morning and night to build that neural pathway.
That's the foundation.
It's a solid foundation. But naturally, life happens. Anxiety happens. What do we do when the picture starts to shake? When the anxiety gets so loud we can't even see the slide anymore?
That is exactly what we are covering next time. We are going to explore Episode 7, Things to Remember While Using Thought Power. We'll talk about handling anxiety, dealing with doubt, and what Barron calls the pattern of the divine.
Holding the line when things get tough.
Exactly.
I can't wait. It feels like we have the car, and next week we learn how to drive it in traffic.
Precisely. We're just getting started.
Thanks for being here. If you want the full series, check the playlist, and please like and subscribe so you don't miss the next episode.